We're synced up. Hello everybody, welcome to the Distance Level Podcast. My name is Sean and I am in Thun, and this is Imran and he is also in Thun. We have finally made it to our live podcast. We are live on Instagram right now, over here to my right hand side. For any of the Spotify listeners after, this is useless information, but there you go. We've got questions from you guys that you've submitted before, and we'll try and get some comments as they come in live as well. But yeah, hello Imran, good to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
It's mad that we started the podcast and we had never done one in person before, and then we've got 20 episodes deep.
Yeah,
literally.
I like that. Like my autism likes that's a round number.
Yeah,
that
we're
doing this.
I was so happy when I found out it was the 20th episode.
Yeah,
yeah.
But yeah, man, it's crazy to be like. I said it at one point yesterday. It's crazy with Nicola, and even you as well. Like if you had said 10 years ago to each other, one of you is going to emigrate to a different country,
and the four places Switzerland.
Yeah, as well. It's not even like Australia or or Canada where you hear loads of people are going to. It's always like
it's a real niche place.
Yeah, it's a real even though there is lots of Irish here. We're out this morning and we bumped into somebody Irish.
From Dunboyne of all places.
We're just from Dunboyne.
Yeah.
You go Blanche. That's all I'll say. Go Blanche.
There you go. Yeah, it's mad, man. And we were even talking about it yesterday. We looked at each other and we were like, "This is so weird.
This is so weird that we're here." Yeah. Even when we saw you getting off the train yesterday, it was like, "Oh my god, they're over there."
Yeah.
It was like seeing a celebrity. It's like, "Oh my god, Nicola and Imran are over here." This is crazy.
I think it's weird when we come home because we're coming back there.
Because you're home.
Yeah. Where if you just come here, it's a more of a holidays for you.
Yeah. But it's because we're trying to get the best of both worlds out, because we don't mind what we do. Because you've been so lovely and accommodating to us and being oh, what do you guys want to do? It's guys, it's your weekend as well. You gotta.
I mean, the weather hasn't really been on our side.
No, so if anybody who's tuning in on Instagram on short notice, we appreciate you guys being here because
we're meant to do it tomorrow actually.
Supposed to do this tomorrow on the Sunday, but the weather hasn't gone against us, so we've had to rearrange the plans that we had. So we've had to pull this together.
But yeah,
last minute. But here we are. But we're fine and we're rocking and rolling.
Yeah. So we have a lot of questions to get through.
We have a lot of questions as well. Yeah,
also feel free on anyone that's watching live on Instagram to put your questions through. We can also see them too.
We can see them there. I have my trusty iPad here as well. That's it's crispy. It's seen brighter days. Yeah. I had to say to Imran while we were setting up, the iPad was sitting on the couch in the sun, and I had to move it out of the way because I was afraid it would overheat too easily. It's like we said, it's a bit of an older iPad. But should we just get straight into the questions?
We'll crack on. Let's go.
This is it was such a weird thing setting all this up as well, because we're just so used to going onto our desks and set up we've got it down to a T.
Especially in the back cave of all places.
The back cave.
This is the brightest back cave has ever been.
The back cave it's actually white, guys. But I can see what Imran means there. It's all lovely and decorated on the opposite side, but you guys can't see this.
That either.
You cannot see this, So yeah, first question that we have, we'll keep it anonymous as we usually do. Just to be safe. So if you could relive one random day of your life again, what day would that be and why?
Oh, okay. Maybe going to see Endgame for the first time.
Really? Yeah?
Yeah. Or maybe when me and you went to see Spider-Man.
Spider-Man was a good day.
Yeah, because I just remember how excited we were to the build-up of the film, and then I remember being in the line, and there was a queue outside with me, you and Nicola. I don't know if you remember this.
Yeah. And people coming out were do not say a fucking word.
Yeah, because we were the second screening of that day.
By that day as well, it was literally just over midnight as well.
Yeah.
So second screen of the day being 12:30 at night.
And it was packed.
It was packed. I remember we got home, we walked home, and we got in at 4 in the morning.
Yeah, and we sat near the front because there was actually not that many more screenings seats in the film. And I just remember it wasn't even Toby's surprise. It was when Charlie Cox actually made his cameo in the film. Then we were mad surprised.
Poor Nicola's shoulder was bruised after that.
She was
oh my god, Charlie! She's who the fuck is Charlie?
Yeah. I don't know. That's just off the top of my head the first memory that I have.
The first thing that shot your head.
I don't know about you.
For me, it's definitely the headline gig last year.
I mean, of course. Yeah.
It was just... Do you know what it was? The amount of work that I put into it. And the fact that when I look back on it now, I literally would not change one bit about the whole night. The whole thing went Because like you always like it doesn't matter whether it's like a podcast or a flight or a trip or like meeting up with your mates or so, you're always like prepared for something to go wrong, like like,
of course,
along the way, like if someone misses a bus or like like someone falls or like has an accident, like you're always thinking the what ifs, what could come up, and nothing came up the whole night. Like I had so many things like ready to go in case something went wrong, like nothing went wrong.
Yeah.
And I was just buzzing on it.
There was only like one time where you nearly knocked the mic over.
But that's
But like you call
that's my centre of gravity.
Yeah.
More than nothing else, like
That's my aura moving.
That's actually like I actually did knock it over, but my centre of gravity pulled it back. We've got something. Daredevil cameo was the best. Absolutely. Yeah, shout out Odie. Yeah. Okay. Our next question is, what's your favourite thing about living with your partners? Our partners are on the opposite side of this wall, and they're also. I don't know. It says Simone's in the thing, but they can definitely hear this. So love you guys over here. I'll let you take the wheel on this one to your house.
I think it's just coming home to like the person like you've wanted to spend most of your time with 90% of the time, because like we've always lived so close to each other. Like Nicola's only lived on the road, and I used to stay at her house maybe 3 to 4 times a week, so I was always there. But to come back to like the comfortability of like your own area is just nice.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people that I know this year, like yourselves included, like have moved in recently with a partner, and I think it's just coming back to like the natural, like every day you get excited because you get to come home to your partner, like which is nice.
Yeah, I love like that. I can. When me and Simone weren't like you and Nicola, where we could stay in each other's house because we lived a bit further apart. Like so I couldn't walk to Simone's house.
You didn't have the car then as well.
Didn't have the car then as well. So like for me and Simone to meet up, we would always have to meet in town, or one of us would always have to make the trip out. And to be fair, Simone usually came out to my house a lot of the time as well. So like it's like it's about like a 3-hour round trip, like but it takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours to get out, and then the same an hour to an hour and a half getting back. Traffic is always a little bit less going back. Sure, usually going home late at night, to be fair. So like I love that, like for when I was doing stuff with someone, like I always had to pick, like for example when you were home, I would have I'm sure like me and you and Simone have gone out before, me and Nicola have gone out before.
Yeah.
It's not a case of like I had to pick between, but like it's nice to be able to like go out with mates and then come home to Simone. Like, it's not like I have to pick Simone or a friend or Simone or a family member. Like I always have her there to come back to, and like just going to sleep with your partner every night is just class.
Yeah,
like, just especially even like when you've had bad days and shit. Like
and it's weird because you gotta get but you have to get away from that complexity of like sleeping by yourself and then sleeping with your partner.
I much prefer that. Like that was one thing like people were saying to me, like, oh, when you move in, like it takes a little while to get used to it, but like I was like, nah, like I loved it straight away. Like I just was like, my favourite person's like right beside me. It's great, like
Yeah, it's more like a safety thing, isn't it?
Yeah, you feel
in a weird way like you feel safe.
I think as well because like I've moved around quite a lot over the last few years, and like you've had a similar experience. Like it kind of like it like for me like home. It feels like home isn't a place. Home is a person. Like so as long as it doesn't matter, and like even when stuff has come up recently, and we're like talking about like what the future holds. It's like it doesn't matter where it is as long as we're together. That's like us together is home. That's it. Yeah. Brownie points is like rush through the door now. Like,
he's getting a full rub there.
Maybe when we go home.
Please not my bed.
Well, literally Imran and Nicola have been kind enough to literally give us their bed. Which I was so shocked by it. Like I was like coming in, I didn't think you had like a spare guest room, which technically is kind of
the back cave.
Is the back cave. So I was like fully expecting to be sleeping in here, and I was like, yeah, that's grand. And then like we walked in, and you guys were like, oh yeah, this is your room, this is where you're staying. I was like, alright, grand. And like I was literally sitting on the couch yesterday going, where the fuck's their room? And I was like, holy shit, we're in their room. Like,
if that's how nice the guest room is, we're doing well.
That's what I mean.
If I walked into someone's house and that was the guest room,
okay.
Yeah, sure.
What's a small thing that can instantly ruin your day?
Oh, okay. A small thing, like at the start of the day, or like doesn't
I
really
suppose
matter.
whenever, like
Oh, I'll think you go with that one.
I suppose like a rough like
a
email
minor
or text
inconvenience kind of thing.
Yeah, I like it's just a small thing that can ruin your day.
Or like say like if you're going when we used to go to work when we were in like secondary school and stuff, and you had to get the bus to the centre. Like let's imagine like you wake up late for your shift. you have to rush to get ready, and you rush to the bus stop, you miss your bus, then you're panicking that you're not going to make it on time to work. Like, they're like things off the top of my head that I think.
Do you know what, actually, one that's like fucking so true for me? Not having a shower in the morning.
Yeah,
will ruin my day. Like, if I don't have a shower in the morning, and I did it last week because I was playing five-a-side on Wednesday night, and I was in the office 2 days in a row, so I'd like gone from the office to home to five-a-side, and came home and I had a shower when I got in, and when I woke up the next morning, I was just really sore because I'd been to the gym 2 days in a row as well, so I was just really exhausted. I said, oh fuck it, it's grand. And it looks, because it's mainly my hair because I have psoriasis, and like my hair gets super itchy and it gets really oily as well. And I looked at it and I was like, right, now my hair's not too bad. And I got to like 1 o'clock, I was like, why the fuck did I do that?
Yeah,
like, I know, like I do it like once every couple of months, and I always have a shit day because I feel like crap. Like,
you don't feel clean. I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't feel clean.
It's like no one's part of your routine, and it's like some little minor inconvenience messes it up. You just.
But then as well, because I've done that and I've said no, fuck that. I'm having a shower tomorrow morning. I don't have a shower that night, and I still feel scruffy. I feel worse
the next morning. Yeah. I think I'm kind of on the same boat as you, like not having like something in your routine at the start of your day, kind of.
Yeah, if your routine gets
more than likely probably a shower, that would be the same. Stuff like if I went out of the house, my phone's like on like 10%. That has happened to me before, like many times where I've been out and like I forgot to charge my phone, or like say I've been in the house all day and like just I got busy, like I was off watching a show or I was doing something making food, and then I have to head out in 20 minutes. I'm like, oh shit, my phone's on like 20%. That's kind of like something that off the top of my head I would be like, oh, that's a minor inconvenience. But yeah.
Big thing for me is like lateness, like me being like I am so cautious of like I don't want to piss people off.
Would you rather be early?
I try to be that, like I'm that guy in work that arrives like 20 minutes before we have to be.
Yeah, I mean it's actually a better thing I think to be early.
Yeah, like I really subscribe to the whole thing of like on time is late.
Yeah.
So if you arrive, if you're due to be somewhere at 9, you arrive at 9. You're actually late. Like,
we know what the lads are like.
Yeah, but I wouldn't if you guys were like coming to the house and you arrived at the house at 2 o'clock. I wouldn't be like, oh my god, they're late. But like it's more of a me thing. Where
I think it's more like if you're meeting people or if like you're going for food or something, like you want to be on time, because there's nothing worse like if you're going for dinner with someone you arrive like 20 minutes late. I'd hate and then look, that's never happened to me. Like I've never actually arrived for like a dinner late, but I can imagine that minor inconvenience of having to like everyone sit at the table and you have to rush in like to the restaurant.
We had it a few weeks ago where my nana's 70th, and we were like there was a party in the Bell at the weekend, but we were like the day off on the Thursday, we done like just a close family, and we said, right, grand, we'll go out for a meal. But me and Simone were working, so Simone's in Blackrock and I was working from home, so we basically had to meet in town and then get a bus out to Banff because I hadn't passed my driving test yet.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we done that, and we're waiting there and start, like we literally get to town, get on the keys and start pissing around. Grant, we've no umbrellas because it was sunny and bright, especially Simone. Simone had like brought her stuff in the morning. I was like, it's grand, like, you know, the weather's fine. No, it's not. And we went and we were like, oh, okay, Grant, we get on the bus, and then the bus that we're on goes 3 stops and breaks down.
Oh no.
So we were just like, okay, we're either going to be like 40 minutes late because
taxi in the end, or
we ended up getting, and then I think that week we spent like 100 quid in taxis because and then obviously by the time like we finished with that and you finished the rest, like we planned on getting a taxi home anyway, so we done that and then going to the actual party at the weekend and then coming home from that. 2 more taxis, and the taxis from Banff to Ballyfermot are like minimum 35
quid. Taxis are expensive though these days though, like genuinely.
Yeah.
Especially if you're getting them by yourself.
This is like, you know, this is why like you need cars in Ireland. Like you
need
can, like it's grand if you are staying in your town. Like Blanche is a fairly walkable town to be fair, you know. So like it's not so bad, but you like need a car.
Do you ever feel like when as you get older you have more things to carry? Like I don't know, like you have more things to get. Like so if you go to the shop and you just go, I'm going shopping. If you have a car, you tend to buy more because you know you have more space in the car. Like say if like you were like, I have to pick up like I don't know, let's just say for example you need to make up milk, bread, eggs and bread for the house, right? Like, you know, the standards in every Irish household, right? But say you also needed to get, like you were cooking me and Nicola dinner on a Friday and you also wanted to get bits, but if you didn't have a car you wouldn't be able to carry all of it in the bag, but because you have the car you're like, oh, I'll pick up all this stuff now and there's a bottle of Coke, I'll get that, and you know, like, you just start picking up so more because you've also
got Dunn's 5 off 25.
There you go.
Shout out to Dunn's. Honestly, one of the things I was most excited for when I passed my driving test was going to Dunn's.
Yeah.
Because the Dunn's was in Clondalkin and there wasn't like it wasn't around like so we were literally just nipping around to the Aldi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've said this before.
You've said it
anyway,
before on the podcast.
but like it was I was buzzing to go to Dunn's, man. Like, and even every week I'm like, yeah, I'm in Dunn's. I feel like I've accomplished something because I'm doing a show from Dunn's, like,
You're a 40-year-old man now.
Yeah. Okay, so on to the next question. Hello, I think a few people have joined since that, so hello to anybody who has joined since. Oh, I skipped the question. So if you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
That's a good question. Jeez, I feel like I'm a celebrity now or something. Like I've experienced life.
It feels like that was like PR press things where like, they've got loads of interviews coming in at once. Like,
I don't know. Honestly, right now, what would you say?
I would kind of just say like believe in yourself a little bit more.
Yeah.
And
maybe have more confidence. Maybe in being yourself might be one.
Yeah. Because like I like when I was younger, I've never been like short on confidence.
Yeah.
But I've been a bit more anxious and stuff like so I
be less anxious though.
Yeah, just to be like things that, like I live a lot by a certain phrase now, and I've said this to like a couple of members of the family and stuff. But like for this is for good and bad. Like you should say this when things are going well, and you should also say this when things are really tough. It's a phrase: "This too shall pass."
Yeah.
So like it helps you to kind of like in the good times be in the moment and realize this. You should appreciate the good times when they're here, but then when you do have the bad times as well, like when shit gets tough and you're in the mud, like it will also pass. Like when it's, like I think like you get it more than anybody. Like life can have some really big highs and some really low lows. Like
I think it was because we were talking about before. I said it in the previous podcast, but like since I've moved away, it's more like being more present and like when I'm around like my friends, like say for example like you used to come over now for us, like and we don't have that like much time together. We've like 3 days. It's like be in the moment, like like try and enjoy my time and don't be stressing about look they're heading off. And that's like that's not
don't
just
be
you.
Don't be worried about making everything perfect. Like
don't be ever make like shit happens like life.
Is that true? It's the thing. True perfection has to be imperfect. Like
There you go.
So
lucky I'm imperfect, so
if the weather is gonna piss on us all weekend and we're stuck in watching films all weekend.
We watched Cool Runnings today. If anyone's saying
we've been in the house less than 24 hours and we've already watched 2 films.
Yeah.
So we've watched
good movies.
Cool Runnings and Sing Street.
Yeah. 2 good movies though.
Okay, yeah, for sure. So if you won the lotto, what's the first three things you do with it?
I thought about this a lot, and I've like got asked these questions so many times. The first thing I would do is buy a house. Automatically just buy a house. Yeah, buy a house for me. Because that's security for myself and Nicola, and not only for like any family that we have in the future. Now I don't know where that would be. Like I don't know if it'd be back at home, would it be abroad? Like I'd have to think about it more than that.
Well, you've got a lot of money.
So
would you consider buying 2 houses?
Yeah, I mean, probably would.
Buy one here and buy one at home.
My second would be investment.
Yeah, investment property.
Investment.
Like, right, okay, I was the tenant, now I'm going to be the capitalistic landlord.
Yeah.
Just jack up the rent.
It'd have to be investment, because in the longer run, I'm just never going to run out of money. Unless you do something very stupid, like.
Yeah. There's a high amount of lotto winners that like get really depressed.
Yeah, because they don't know how to deal with it. Yeah, they don't like they never thought in their lives that they were going to win the lotto, and then when it comes and all that money's there, they don't know what to do.
There's like a mix of like people who piss it away, and then like survivor's guilt on some part of like people like I don't deserve this money and that sort of stuff. Like it's like well why did you gamble anyway? Why did you do lotto?
Yeah. What 3 things would they come to your mind? I mean, I didn't say a third. I mean, third would probably be like I'd like to give some of it to people that like I either know or care about and that would need the money.
Yeah.
Like I would definitely like to go down that road of like charitables, but I don't think I'd just throw money away because of the sake of it. Like it'd have to mean something to me specifically, or like you know what I mean.
It's that thing of like there's no true like unselfish deed. So like while it's very unselfish to give it to charity, like you would rather give it to like a family member who really needs it, like or a friend who really
or like a charitable organisation that like I believe in, or like I have some kind of connection with, or like I feel like they're doing good work or whatever. Like
I'm just trying to think, what was the woman Blanche that you worked with before?
Jigsaw.
Yeah,
I mean Jigsaw is a great organisation. Yeah, shout out Jigsaw.
Jigsaw. Yeah, I would. I think. Hello, Lauren. You up the lads? What's the story? So yeah, I would. This might sound really boring, but I'd probably do mostly the same as you. I would definitely buy myself a house. I'd start singing the Nickelback song Rockstar and just start listing off all the stuff from that song.
16.
Yeah, I think like I'd like to definitely give like some family members a good bit of it. Like
obviously a long ass holiday as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like a world holiday.
I think like the big thing. The thing is, right, this is such an adult thing now because like the kid in me, or like not even the kid, like I really want to buy like a nice guitar, like one that costs like $5,000.
Yeah.
10. Well, if I've won the lotto, maybe like $10,000. Like, you know, but the adult in me now is like, get a car.
Yeah,
get a nice like Jeep
or, like
or
SUV.
cinema.
Imagine a home cinema.
Home cinema.
That would be like the amount of movies I've watched in general or shows. Like imagine just coming in, have like your own popcorn machine. Like I'd have everything. So.
I'd put that in with the house though. Like buy
that would be part of the house.
Like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Have it like the minimum requirements for the house is a big ass field and it's a home cinema.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know,
just a cinema
even to be fair,
there.
like say if you're winning $1 million or $2 million in Ireland, like
it's a lot of money. Still.
It's a lot of money. But it's not going to buy you like a super house in that way. Like, man, shitholes in Ireland cost like 400 grand. 500 grand for shitholes.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so you think if you win
$2
$1 million,
in Clondalkin, like.
literally, but like the thing is, you think you're winning $1 million quid. And it's like, oh yeah, grand, I'm just going to buy a house. That's
and you're
fine.
still paying it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, but like a decent house is costing you like $600-700
in Ireland,
grand.
anyway,
in Ireland, yeah.
I mean, in other places in the world as well.
In Switzerland, like, Jesus,
don't even talk about it. It's a mill for the cheapest.
Man, like there's literally a mountain behind the live stream camera right now, like, you know, and they don't even own the place. So like,
I'm screwed.
Okay, so we're moving on to the next question. If you have dinner with any 3 people, dead or alive, who would they be and why?
Who would I be and why?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like just like controversial ones. Just so the dinner party is
Hitler, Osama bin
Laden. Honestly, one of them.
One of them.
Yeah, like it's gotta be. I want like some kind of musician, some like politician, and then like someone who was just like known for being like just an absolute legend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you got names?
No, I'm gonna think. That's why I let you run. Because I already know you have these off the top of your head.
No, well, I'm riffing off the top of my head.
Yeah.
The first person that comes to mind when that's said is Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl for me, yeah, love Dave Grohl. The drummer, lead singer, guitar. Well, actually, in drummer Nirvana, lead singer of Foo Fighters, and guitar player of the Foo Fighters. Probably have to pick. So we're going 3. So maybe then go into like football. Frank Lampard, maybe.
Just because you're last at Chelsea's for.
Yeah, well, you know. Yeah, but I actually, you know what? I'm gonna swap out Frank Lampard for Peter Cech.
Okay.
Right, because I love listening to Peter Cech on podcasts and on stuff. He's such an intelligent guy.
Yeah.
He speaks like 5 languages.
He's just one of them. Like,
he's so interesting to listen to, you know. And then they're both alive, so let's pick somebody dead. Maybe Robin Williams.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a real one.
He's jealous now.
Yeah.
He's like, why didn't I think of that? Robin Williams would be a good one.
Michael Jackson, Diddy, and Osama bin Laden. That's my 3 because I can't think of anyone.
Okay. Right. So those 6 questions were all from one person.
Yeah.
We're taking questions on the live as well if anybody wants to send in questions on the live. I've got the questions that were submitted via Instagram earlier in the week. So, yeah. What's the best and most memorable? What's the best memory that we have together? Just
together.
Yeah, 2 of us.
I mean, obviously, starting a podcast is big for us. But I think in person, like, I think going to gigs, because that was our thing. We used to always go to gigs together, like going to the cinema together.
For some reason, the first thing that shot to my head there when I read that question was the Killers gig, because I think
I was only thinking of that.
We were both really wanted to see them for a while.
And there are 2 bands like we grew up as kids listening to, like one of our, like, I'd say definitely one of my first albums that I ever bought myself was Hot Fuzz and Say Them. Yeah. This was just a really memorable gig. Also, I remember going to the Liam Gallagher original one, because that was the first gig we'd ever went to as well.
The first gig we went to. Yeah. Well, it was 4 of us. But
it was 4 of us. Yeah, it was the first gig that we actually went and like spent like most time with. Like. Yeah,
something else that popped in the head there as well was our grad from college in 2018. Isn't that 2019?
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah, that's like that shot into my head as well. You were on crutches for the graduation for that as well.
I didn't even put this as well, right? I fell on O'Connell Street, right? and everyone laughed at me. Do you not remember this?
Yeah.
We were going down a common street. It was pissing raining, and we were heading towards what's the place that's closed down on the bottom? Living room.
Yeah.
And I was going on crutches, and I slipped on the crutches and like landed on my face, and everyone was breaking themselves laughing, and not one of you picked me up, and I was fuming because I was wearing like a white shirt, I was wearing a blazer, like, and like not one of them picked me up, and I had to like with my crutches like was like your man out, fast pass out, was out fire trying to pick himself up. Yeah, and look, there's loads of memories that we can think of, but like. I'm trying to think of main ones.
The thing that shot to my head first was the Killers gig.
Yeah.
Just because it was such a bucket list moment for the two of us.
Yeah, definitely. Like,
you know, and also like that gig as well. The two support acts in that gig were like two other of my favorite bands. Like I love Blossoms and The Academic.
I love Blossoms
as well. Yeah. Blossoms were playing Sport at Inhaler through the week, and like I would have gone to it just to see Blossoms.
We've seen Blossoms. I've seen Blossoms 3 times.
Yeah,
but I've never been to one of their.
Really?
No, I haven't been to one of
their gigs. Are class.
I've seen them 3 times as support acts. I need to go see them actually.
Next question is actually from somebody who's just joined the live, and we're keeping things anonymous. But one of the people that just asked the question is just joined the live. So, and this is directly related to the podcast.
Okay.
What's it like doing the podcast from a distance? Do you find it hard, and do we miss each other?
Do we find it hard? I think when we first started, we were trying to find our rhythm in terms of like, you know, what's the format, are we going to do it, is it going to be like segments, is it going to be conversational, like we needed to find like what the podcast was about, and we were only talking funny enough about the name earlier at dinner, the Distance Dilemma, and it was something that just came easy off the riff for you, because it essentially the podcast is just about getting older, 2 friends living abroad from home, because there's so many people back in Ireland that like, or not even in Ireland, just across the world, that like have friends that are living abroad and you don't get to spend that much Ireland time or like speak that much. And I think essentially that's what the podcast is for us. Like, although we have the laugh, have the crack, and we talk about subjects and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's just me and you.
It's a passion project that we for the two of us, like, because we've been talking about doing it for years as well.
Yeah,
like, you know, like well before like you moving away was even in the picture. Like this is the thing we've been talking about since like COVID. Like you know, like we should just do it.
But I feel like
kind of in the style that we're doing now, just sit in the same room and just talking shite. Like, you know?
Even if it was a camera over here, we'd be I think more than the meaning to it was just kind of like just keeping in connection, getting older, and like taking like it's 1 hour of your day to speak to me, and that's kind of like what we're kind of showing here. Like, you know,
it's doable.
It's doable.
Because it is because I have other friends that have like moved away, or like, you know, moved to different ends of the country, or friends that I have that I only know in a long distance capacity, like, you know, and like it's not personal because like I think of them and I know they think of me. And I think about calling them, but like, you know that they're in work, or maybe vice versa. Life gets it is so hard to do when you're in different countries, different time zones, and it's like it's not a case of not thinking about people. You do think about them as well, but like you also as well like want to let people live their lives, and it's such a difficult one because like I remember when like my first 1 or 2 friends moved away. And like I wasn't also as busy in myself, and I was like, oh geez, they don't talk to me, and they're having a new life, and not in like a kind of jealous way, but it was also like, you know, it was more like an upset of like, oh yeah, like the friendship is gone, but it's not because then like when I've had those people come back, you just pick up where you left off.
Like again, you don't need to talk to someone every single day. Like
no.
And I'd say on the question of like, is that hard? I mean, for us, I'd say it's just like scheduling. Like in terms of the podcast,
that's the worst part for us.
Because you work a 9 to 5, and mine's very evening shifts, like 5 to close. So it depends. It varies, like where we can find time slots. And then what's the other thing? We miss each other, of course. Like we spend a lot of time.
I don't like. Obviously, I miss doing stuff with you. But like, there's also like I don't feel like it. I think it's like kind of what I was talking about before. Like I don't feel like I'm missing you because I talk to you constantly still.
Yeah.
So I still feel like, you know, I know what's going on in your life. Like I know when you've had a good week in work, when you've had a bad week in work, when you've had like, you know, a long shift and you're wrecked after and stuff like that. That we talk about off air as well, because that's the thing. Like, while we're doing it,
I think some people like forget when people do a podcast, like that they're actually friends off podcast. We don't just always talk about.
But
the
this
podcast
is it, because most of the time when we do it, like we end up talking for 20 minutes before.
We
hit record, and then we're talking, but like that'll end up being more,
you know, personal
bits, like, you know, stuff that we don't want to broadcast out to the public.
Yeah.
But yeah, the hardest part for sure is like trying to find the time, because we can't, because of the time zones and because of our schedules, we can't just say, right, we're going to do every Friday at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, which would be great if we could do that.
That would help me. and my autism.
Definitely.
That would really help me, just because like I'm one of those people that I'm like,
routine is brilliant.
I'm such a routine based person. Like even when we're rehearsing, it's like, right, okay, we rehearse same time, same day, same studio.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Like even if I know the studio is missing something, it's like, right, okay, no, but we'll bring our own stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, because like sometimes like we'll get a thing from the studio and be like, oh, by the way, the snare is broken.
Yeah.
Blah blah. You need to bring your own. You can use a different room if you want, just the people in there. And I'd be like, no, like I like the consistency. Like,
I think a lot of people like routine though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. Okay. Again, this is the second time this has happened. Somebody who asked a question earlier in the week has joined the live.
Okay.
So hopefully they can just flick in and out. And I need to have a word with this is probably the person who sent this in. I'm considering this a threat. Somebody sent this in after the last podcast, and it was a photo of beans on Weetabix.
Oh, I know who this is. Yeah.
That's a hate crime.
So
I'm sorry. I actually took offence to that.
I went on Google Images and I looked up Weetabix because I needed. We do this thing every week when we release the podcast. 4 photos out of context, and when I looked up Weetabix, the third photo that came up was this. It's beans on Weetabix. Like, so that if you look on Google, right, everyone that's watching this now, well, actually don't. after this is over, go on Google and look up a Weetabix and go into images, and the third photo that will come up is beans on Weetabix. There's no one in the world that's ever.
I've never ever heard. I feel like I'm a lesser person having heard of beans on Weetabix.
If we get 100 followers at the end of the year, we'll have beans on Weetabix
on the podcast.
on the podcast.
Yeah. I love beans. I used to like Weetabix.
That's like when you've got like nothing in the house and like your times are really bad.
That's like rationings, man. Like that's like, right, I've had Weetabix every day for me breakfast for the last 2 weeks in the bunker. I've had beans.
The bunker. I mean, I'm a bunker downstairs.
Yeah, that was a fucking mad thing as well. Like, do you want to share that on the podcast?
Yeah, I mean, so in Switzerland, there's a legal requirement on a lot of the apartments to have a nuclear bunker. I can actually take photos and a video, and we can post it up on the Instagram page maybe later next week. As one of the clips, I'll take a photo of it because I showed Sean yesterday, and we were just like, it's mad how heavy the door is.
Yeah,
and some people like
I keep slamming the doors unintentionally, like, you know. It's not like literally as we were setting up this.
I think another question came in through there.
She was saying the person who sent it in was put on the story after. So after we'll put up beans on Weetabix. Okay. The next two questions kind of like fall in with each other. So these are like, I'll ask them separately, but it's kind of like a two-parter in a way.
Okay.
Best and like no. So what are the best snacks to have on a plane?
Oh, okay. Are we talking like you like something off the menu, like every?
No, stuff you bring on the plane. Like stuff you'd either buy like before you leave your gaff, or stuff you buy in duty free.
Well, I mean, you just brought me stuff from Ireland, so maybe you can answer this question.
Yeah, but it's kind of like I don't know. You don't want. I think crisps are an essential. Like
crisps are an essential.
But you don't want an aggressive flavor of crisp. You want. I think that's the time you play it safe with your crisps. Like, don't be going for like mad like fucking pineapple flavored crisps.
Pick the regulars. The ones you always get.
Do you know what? Right, a plain staple really is a ready salted Pringle.
Ready
salted Pringles on the plane. They just did like, but like a cheese and onion. Salt and vinegar is probably like on the friskier end of.
I like
plain
Terrells when I'm on a plane.
Terrells?
Yeah, like the hand cooked crisps. Or like any damn kind of hand cooked crisps. There's probably a couple of other brands.
Oh, like the rough cut ones.
Like the rough cut.
Okay, like Hunky Dory kind of style. Like.
No, but like more like hand cooked crisps. Like Terrells would be one of the brands. I don't know if McDonald's is another one. I don't know. But like these are ones that I like to do like chili flavoured, salt and vinegar, cheese and onion. Like they're just standard. I always pick them out. They're like the nicest ones you can go for. Or you could do the opposite of what you're saying. Pringles, Hunky Dories, simple.
But I didn't think this through yesterday because I was in Tesco yesterday morning.
Yeah. And
I was like, right, I was picking up stuff to bring over to the guys, like tea bags and chocolate and stuff like that. And I was thinking of crisps, and I was like, right, well, obviously, like I was like, people are probably gonna already have brought Tato over to them. So what can I bring over? And Simona then texted me and said, oh, will you get me something for the plane?
Yeah.
And me and Simona have been eating a lot of meanies recently. I said, oh, meanies are something that you're not going to get in Switzerland. Like they're like a very, like, you don't even get them in the UK. Like, they're very nichely, like, Irish things.
You know you're Irish if you know any.
Yeah, and meanies are class as well. But
actually, packing meanies earlier when you're in the house.
Oh, man, yeah, they're banging. And I was like, right, okay, yeah, I'll buy a multi-pack of meanies and then we can have 2 on the plane. But then I was on the plane and I was like, man, I can't be unleashing pickled onion on these poor people.
Oh, man.
On a fucking tube, 40,000 feet in the air, open a packet of pickled onions, I'd be getting some dirt,
Oh, yeah, man. Cool.
But yeah, I think, like, with it being plain snack, I think it needs to be fairly plain.
Yeah, if they're actually
pun intended, like.
And would you get a cup of tea on?
I'm a cheap bastard, so no, I'm not paying £5 for a cup of tea.
So, I'm the same. Like sometimes I know you're buying water.
Sometimes, but like I usually I buy a water in the airport normally. Man, I have to say, right, that flight on Swiss Airways. Shout out to Swiss Airways, man. If you want to sponsor the podcast, hit us up, right? As if Swiss Airways are tuning in on Instagram there,
Yeah.
But
2
like,
lads from fucking Dublin.
The flight was so grand. The flight was so quick. And we were delayed like 10 minutes. It wasn't even their fault. It was something got to do with air traffic control. They were waiting to give us a slot so we could take off. Granted, no bother. They came around and gave everybody a free bottle of water and a free bar of chocolate.
That's mad. I wonder was it just because of the delay?
Maybe it was, but it was, like, it's not like we were sitting on the plane for like 10 minutes before. Like we'd all boarded and all taken our seats, and then they said, "Guys, we're just waiting on a slot to open up in air traffic control." So I was like, "All right, yeah, grand, no problem." Like. It's not like I've been sat on planes before for like 40 minutes, 45 minutes, going to London as well. Like, you literally, by the time you've gotten off, by the time you actually take off, you would have been in the country, or been into London or
baby
whatever.
crying, whole plane is packed, sweat, air conditioning is shit.
Oh man, I was sweating on that plane yesterday.
Oh, stop.
I was sweating.
I've been on a plane before when I went to the States when I was a kid, and only one of the toilets were working at the front of the plane. The plane was packed, the air conditioning wasn't working. There was 2 crying babies on the whole flight. Oh, it was grim.
I was just gone. See you later, alligator. Sorry, no. But yeah, it was very nice. And so, well, kind of keeping in with the plane thing.
Oh, was it?
Suitable plane films.
Oh, okay.
What's a good film? I think like kids' films are the way to go. Like you want something that's kind of light and
or
easy.
something long. That's what I'm saying. Like if you're on a long
flight to the
States, I'd watch all the Lord of the Rings. I just
going to the States.
If I was on like a long flight, like I'm going to Japan next year. So if I was going to Japan and I know it's like I think it's like 18 hours, the whole process of like dropping over, staying, your layoffs and everything. I think I'm just gonna either binge watch like all the Lord of the Rings, or I'm gonna do like a 3P of films. I just do like one, 2, 3. I don't know what films like franchise, but I think to me, if it's a short flight now, I probably do like a kids movie. Like you watched the Lego Batman movie.
Lego Batman film was my film of choice.
Yeah, or like I watched Sonic the Hedgehog. Then I think it was like 2 months ago when I went to Copenhagen. So yeah. That's another stuff. So kids movies.
Yeah, and by the way, just want to say, Lego Batman film is one of the funniest films around. Like
it is so underrated.
So funny. Like,
do you ever see them dark core videos of like Lego Batman? I'll show you after the podcast if you haven't seen them, but it's so funny.
Yeah, like films like that and like Soul and The Incredibles. The Incredibles is a brilliant playing film. That's like the playing film.
Yeah.
Or like,
especially when he's on the jet as well, going to the island. There you go.
Yeah, I think I've watched The Incredibles on the plane like a couple of times, and then on the long one. So I've been to Bulgaria a few times, and the flight from Ireland to Bulgaria is 4 hours.
Okay.
Or like just over 4 hours.
So you want like a filler movie?
So I was like, you either need like 2 films or you need a long ass film. And that was the moment I said, do you know what I'm going to watch for the first time? Schindler's List.
Oh my god, that's so
Schindler's
grim.
List on the
That's
plane.
so grim. Why would you do that to yourself? You're making it the grimmest movie of all time.
Oh man, like it's literally, for anybody who hasn't seen Schindler's List,
that's like watching a boy in a striped pajamas. Like, why would you do that to yourself?
It's a World War II film that is about the fucking execution of the Jews, and it's incredible. It's like,
it's a great movie.
It's one of those films that everybody should watch, regardless of whether you like films or not. It's incredible. Would never watch it again though.
No.
It's so, because 2 reasons. One, it's so long.
Shout Liam Neeson.
But yeah, one, it's so long, but 2, it's so heavy as well. Like the ending is like so.
Oscar Schindler.
Oh my god! Like you feel it, and do you know what? Right, I was watching it. And like I was like 19 on a plane by myself as well, so I was watching it.
What a weird choice to watch by yourself.
Yeah, literally, because I flew out to my grandparents were over there, so I flew out to see them, and then I flew back over and back by myself, and I was sitting down and I was watching it. I was like 2 hours into the film. I paused it. I go up, went to the toilet on the plane, came back right.
Yeah.
And this older couple sitting beside me, and they just tapped me. Like I was about to like get back into the film, and they just went to me. They're like, "Sorry, are you watching Schindler's List?" And
they asked you.
They asked me, was I watching? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, oh, we've been debating whether it was Schindler's List or some other film. And they were like, have you seen this before? And I was like, no. And they're like, that is a very interesting choice to watch on the plane.
That is a very
even they said, that was a brave choice.
Probably some fella beside you watching
Jurassic Park. At the end of it, I was like, I wasn't like ugly crying, but I was I had tears running down my face by the end of it. I was like touching down something, and I'm like,
so happy to be home.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Jesus.
So yeah, but what other kind of like longer film? What is a suitable long film?
A suitable long film.
Like Wolf of Wall Street.
Any of the superhero films, like any Marvel movie, I think.
Endgame,
Infinity War.
Like,
yeah.
Justice League, Schneider Cut.
That's another one.
Have you seen that?
No, I haven't watched all of it. I watched like first hour and I gave up.
I
like 4 hours.
I raw dogged it 4 hours one of the days last year. This is one of my unemployed days last year.
So that raw dog flight, you need to get yourself checked. Checked. Mentally checked.
I even like we were sitting on the plane and like I said we were delayed a few minutes and like I hadn't put my headphones around yet because I didn't actually download any music for the flight.
Oh.
Because I was like, I'm just gonna watch the films, like you know. So I love the takeoff. Like I love being that like 5 row out the window.
For a little video out the window.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I love the feeling.
You have to get the stuff. You have to get the sky pic. You have to get the clouds in. Just a little slow mo. Okay, I always do that.
I love the takeoff and landing process and thing. Like I know some people.
I actually like flying and enjoy it.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah, it scares the shite out of some people.
Yeah.
Like it really does. Like it's got my nana flies. My nana is like out of the country more than she is in the country, like genuinely, because she has her place in Bulgaria, and like because they're retired now, like they're just going to places, like, you know, as they should as well. Like, you know? So my nana is out of the country more than she is in it because she's flying so much, and even when they're in Bulgaria, they fly to other places. Like they'll go and do weekends around Europe and stuff. Like they did it last year in Poland a couple of times.
Yeah,
and like my nana is scared shitless of flying.
Yeah.
She's got horrible, like she's just be there sitting and like shaking her head going, oh, like as the plane's taking off, and even when she's up, like she has to knock herself out, like.
Yeah, some people take meds and everything. Just
yeah. My nana takes Smirnoff.
That and a bottle of whiskey.
Shout out to John. But yeah, right, we'll move on from the plane stuff. So, if there was a movie made about your lives, what actor would you want to play?
If there was a movie made about your lives, what actor would you like us to play?
Yeah, what actor would you like to play you in a film?
First person that came to my head was Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah, because I just think he's an on the button actor in terms of...
Because he's a white guy with a farm town in the name?
Yeah. No, I just think he gets it on... He's a really good drama actor, and I think he gets it on the point.
Right, okay.
Like, I think he... Like, and I feel like... But friends, my life, like, not that interesting. Do you know what I mean? Like, I got up this morning, what time, like 10:30?
Yeah.
I came in, had breakfast with you, I was like...
Yeah.
I mean, it was nice. I made eggs.
Yeah, do you think he, like, looks like you as well? Like, do you think he could pull
I've seen a photo before. We have, like,
like
similar mannerisms, but, I mean, for you, I don't know. Who would you play?
I know...
Have you thought about this before?
It's like, like, I saw the question come in,
okay.
And somebody popped in my head and I was like, yeah, this makes sense. And not because of him as a person, just I think as an actor, it would make sense. James Corden kind of came to mind for me. Like, he's a bigger fella. He's not like
the flamboyantness.
He's a lot more like the flamboyantness that I have to me, and like as well, like even like little things like, you know, like skin tone and like I'm not a not hairy guy, but I'm also not the hairiest guy as well. Like little things like that. Like, he just checks a lot of boxes that would say, and like obviously I watch Gavin Stacey, and like there's some characteristics that line up there. I won't lie, like, you know. It's like I'm a lot less of a man child than I am with him. And what's the last question? Last question of the Instagram questions is, what's your most embarrassing story?
Yeah. There's a couple.
I have one, but I don't know if it should be on the podcast.
Oh, I have one as well. I don't think it should be on the podcast.
Alright, that means you want to say it.
You go first, though.
Okay. I don't even know if I've told Simone this. This is fucking like such a strange...
coming out now.
I think I've told you about this.
Probably.
So I was like 16 and I was on, you know, obviously you're 16, so you can't go on to Tinder. So you have to go on to like the alternative. And it's like you swipe right and it'll like add them on Snapchat if you spot match. Like those sort of... This fella has raised, he didn't have to steep to those low levels. So I was talking to some girl, right, and basically I was chatting away for her. I was only talking to her for like 2 days or something, and excuse me, sorry for that audio listeners there. I can't mute myself at the moment, like, you know, because we're doing this live, so I can't mute myself. So I was texting this girl like 2 or 3 days, and I said she was like from like Cabaret, and I was obviously in Blanche. I was like 16, and I just like went around to my nana's house. I was just chilling. I literally was in my nana's house like 10 minutes. She was like, "Oh, I'm on my way to Blanche to see you."
Okay.
No like arrangement to see her.
Okay.
She was just like, "I'm coming to Blanche to see you now."
Yeah.
I was like, "What do you mean you're coming to Blanche to see me now?" I'm just at the pop. Like I was just like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Oh, I heard you told me you live in Blanche. I'm on the way. It's Saturday. I'm coming to see you." And I was like, "Okay." So I like, she was like, "Oh, I'll get off at the shopping centre. I've never been to Blanche before." So
right.
She has no idea where she's going as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Sorry, Nana, I have to." I was literally there was like 10 minutes. I stopped in unannounced as well. I was like, "Oh, hi, Nana, come see you." And I was like, "Have to go." Right, okay, grand. Show up, and I meet up with this girl, and to say catfished was like, man, this girl looked nothing like her photos.
Was it
like
that? It was a dude.
No, it wasn't a dude, but like, so and she just looked absolutely nothing like her photos whatsoever. And I was also like, I met her in Blanche, so I was like, oh my god, I'm in Blanche. I can't go to Blanche town centre now without bumping into like 500
every
people.
single person.
Everyone's in Blanche shopping centre. Like, you always
someone's dad,
there's always at least 2 people in Blanche shopping centre that you know minimum.
And you have to give them the nod, like there you go.
And I'm 16 as well at this point, like you know, so I'm like,
skill error.
I'm all right. I was like, all right, let's get out of here. So my thought was to be like, okay, where can I like go that's not in the shopping centre, that's close by. Because I didn't want to walk too far away from the shopping centre because I wanted to get her back on the bus she came from ASAP. But I didn't want to bring her into the shopping centre.
You don't want to be a dick, like,
I didn't want to be a prick about it. Like, no, I was just like, oh my god, I've been catfished. Right, okay. How do I like manage this situation? So I took her to a park that was like 5 minutes away. Not the Millennial Park. One like kind of closer to Corduff.
Okay.
Walked for like 2 minutes where, and then I was like, I just sat down and like I tried to play the whole like, oh yeah, like I didn't know you were coming, so I've got plans, so I've got to go in a while and blah blah blah, like you know. But I tried to like not be a prick and like entertain her for like half an hour, like you know.
Right.
So eventually we sit down on this log, and I'm just talking for 2 minutes. There's like just like there's people walking their dogs and shit around, and like I was like just like focused in on a dog, and like I turned around and she just like ate the face off me. And just kissed me.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh my god, this is really, really fucking weird. And then she kept doing it, and like she just kept like it was one of those things as well. Like I was like 16, so like it wasn't like a big passionate kiss. Like it was fucking mostly pecks, like you know. But like she would like kiss me, and then I would like pull away, and she'd go, "What?" I go, "Nothing." She goes, "Okay," and she'd just go and start kissing me again.
Jesus Christ.
It was the weirdest thing, and then she got on top of me. In the middle of the
park. On the log.
Yeah, and then this is where I start getting really fucking uncomfortable. Like I said, I'd never seen it. I was like catfish to the heavens here. So she like gets on top of me in this park, and I'm like, am I going to get fucking assaulted here? Like,
Jesus Christ.
I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Jesus Christ.
So I just like, I went, and like again, like every time I'd be like she would like keep kissing me, and then she would come away and then just go, like I would pull away and she'd go, "What?" I'd go, "Nothing." And then she'd go and kiss me again. This went on
for how long did this go on for?
10-15 minutes.
Jesus
right?
Christ.
This is from like start to finish of like
right, okay.
when she started, like she kind of just like started kissing me out of nowhere and then jumped on me. And then I was like, right, okay, like I need to go. And she like then like when I said, oh, I have to go, like she tried to get me to put my hands downstairs.
Okay.
So I was like at this point like, nah, like I'm
go.
not doing this, I'm going now.
For dinner.
So I was like, fuck this, I'm going home now. I was like, yeah, sorry, like I said to her, I was like, oh yeah, like I had plans. I'm like, those plans are now.
Did you just block her after that?
So I walked her to the bus stop, grand, adios, see you later, walked off, and then I bumped into somebody. They didn't see, but I ended up going off and chatting to one of my mates or somebody I knew for half an hour. I went off, had a little side quest with them, came home to about 20 messages from her asking why I hadn't replied, blah blah, and she had sent me about 5 nudes.
Jesus.
Of upstairs and downstairs.
This person,
and I was like fucking 16, so like I'd barely ever seen it downstairs.
Was she older or younger?
She's about the same age.
Oh,
I think, yeah. I based off like the fact she was saying that stuff, she's probably like maybe like a year or two older than me, but I can't remember now off the top of my head. But yeah, that's probably the most embarrassing story I have.
That's great. That's great. Mine probably be a bit lesser because I was in a relationship. This is actually with Nicola. So Nicola's dream destination was Paris. Like she's always wanted to go to Paris. It's a favorite place she's always wanted to go to. So I booked it for her birthday, and anyway, we went. The weather was class, like proper romantic sunset and everything. And so anyway, we got up in the morning, and we have like a cruise set for the day. And my hay fever's been terrible from the day before, like really bad. Like I mean, snotty nose, like eyes are itchy, eyes are watering down the whole time. And anyway, so I think it was the second day we were there, we're getting out, and I'm locking the door downstairs, and I'm like thinking, oh sorry, I have to sneeze, right? And I can't find the tissue. After leaving the tissue upstairs, so I'm gonna have to, like blow my nose, like basically sneeze, right? But I go to sneeze, right, and this is in front of Nicola, and I think this is like we're only like, no, we are together a good while, but like it was the first time we'd like actually been to like a dream destination basically first. So I wanted to make it a big thing and stuff like that. And Nicola's in front of me here, and I sneeze, and a snot shoots out my nose, but it doesn't go. It like starts hanging down, and it's like at my knee, and then it like and I'm trying to get it off with my finger, like I'm trying to like push it off, and I get my finger and like doing this, and it's like hanging on to me, and Nicola's just standing there and watching all this, and she just looked at me and goes, "That's the biggest ick I've ever had in my life." I was like, I'm gonna go upstairs now and wash my hands, looking back down. Oh man, I was sick. That's just like something that came to the top of my head, like this embarrassing.
I thought you were gonna maybe rehash the the story. What was the one you said in the podcast a few weeks ago? Oh, the homeless fella and the dog.
Oh, the homeless fella and the dog. Sorry, I didn't want to say that because we've already explored it.
But that was a great story.
Go listen to our previous episodes. It's
pretty
funny.
That's like that because I hadn't heard that before as well, so I was getting the same experience as the listeners.
Yeah,
and that was like that was incredibly funny.
For anyone that's watching this live, if you do have any more questions, just pop them in the chat. We'll see them too.
Yeah, this is our live podcast that we're doing. This will be going up at the usual, hopefully at the usual time on Monday morning.
Yeah, we'll try our best. If not,
try our best. Yeah, because our girlfriend's on the episode while we do have to tend to them
skedaddle
as well. Okay, so we've got two questions. One of these is I think both of these are actually kind of aimed at me. Okay. And they're from somebody who's from Switzerland, so one of your mates.
Okay.
So the question being, questions seeming that you don't drink. Can't you get a beer when you come out, or how many Coke Zeros do you consume the night out?
So I'm presuming they're asking like how many soft drinks. If you're on a night out,
yeah, what do I drink, or how much of it do I drink?
Yeah.
I usually, it depends on the context, like because when I first got off the drink, I was drinking soft drinks at the same pace I was drinking alcohol. But then you feel like shit, especially if you're not drinking
so many soft drinks as well.
Especially if you're not drinking Coke Zero.
Yeah.
And you're drinking like Fantas or normal Cokes or 7-Up, stuff that has a lot of sugar in it.
Yeah.
You will get a massive sugar rush and then a fucking huge sugar crash later in the night.
Yeah.
So I would now drink either Coke Zero or water, and like when I first went off the drink, it was like 2018, 2019. It was a lot cheaper to buy soft drinks in pubs then.
Definitely.
So what would always happen was, and I didn't intend on this happening, but this just happened loads of times before COVID, where rounds would be bought. But I was never expected to buy a round because my drink was always like two quid. Everybody else was like a $5. So everybody was like, "No, Sean, you're not buying a round. That's not fair."
Yeah.
So I used to kind of just get a couple of free Cokes off everyone. Like, and it was fun for the first while. But then I started to feel bad. Like, no, by like 3 or 4 times, you start to actually be like, yeah, but now you've spent like 10, 15 quids on me per night, and like it's like, so it's something like I don't like let people do anymore because it's so easy for like the person buying the drinks to dismiss it, but then when it becomes a habit, then it can seem like you're taking the piss. Like,
yeah.
So I would like probably like start off. I'd like get a Coke. Like if we're going out, like if we went to a pub tonight or tomorrow or like that, I'd get a Coke Zero first, and then like probably have 1 or 2 waters. Like if I'm eating, I definitely have a soft drink with that. That's the one thing, like that's probably like one of the bad habits I have. Like I like to have like I don't care if it's Coke or Coke Zero or milk or whatever, but I always have to have a drink.
Say for example though, like a night out. Let's say it was my birthday, we had food, and then we went out to the pub, and we were staying like in a nightclub or something. Like how many Coke Zeros, or how many waters would you have, or like how would you do? Would you start on
water?
I
would probably alternate between them. I would probably do Coke, then maybe 1 or 2 waters. Coke.
Would you just drink it, like casually drink it if you're thirsty, or would you drink it for the sake of like why people on night out, they're just drinking.
They're just drinking to drink.
Just drinking to drink.
Well, at first I was just drinking to drink and just to kind of keep up with the group. Like if someone was buying around, I would even if I wasn't finished or if I didn't want it,
like you're drinking.
I would get it. But now I'm like, right, am I thirsty?
Yeah.
No. Okay. No, I won't. Or am I thirsty? Okay. Can I get water? Or it's like, oh yeah, I could have a drink. That's where I'd get a Coke Zero. Like just to kind of like to be a bit more sociable about it. I've got a good thing now because I have my license. I can be like, oh sorry, I'm the designated driver. Because it's always like such a thing whenever like, especially if you're around people that like aren't close friends. They're like, why aren't you drinking?
Yeah, the usual questions.
And it's like now I can just be like, oh, I'm driving.
Yeah,
and like that can be that
then, like,
getaway. Unless obviously you go out a couple of times with that person, but like if you're like me, like if I like for example like if we like went out with some of your friends over here, you came home and like we went out with people that you hadn't met before.
Yeah.
Like that I hadn't met before. And people are going, why? I can just be like, oh yeah, I'm driving, shove them the car keys, and like, right, that's
It's an interesting perspective because I actually wouldn't have thought of how many people that are in the same situation that don't drink. Like, how many times would they like buy a drink on the night in terms of like soft drink?
Price is a big factor in it for me as well. Like, if I go up to the bar and buy a first drink and it's like a 255 milliliter Coke and it's like €4, I'm not gonna buy it.
Yeah, you tend to just
not buying it. If it's like 250, I'm like, yeah, grand. So like the size of the bottle and stuff is gonna be a big factor in that. Like the 255 milliliter drinks piss me off.
Yeah, that's not a drink. Especially going for a meal.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, if you're going there for a meal and you're getting that, pisses
me off. They're like, yeah, right, Graham, I'll give you the chips and fucking throw loads of salt in it, and there's your steak and half kilo of salt on that. Grant, kind of a Coke.
Just give me
250 milliliter.
I wish they just did points. Like, honestly, just give me a point of Coke.
Even if it is a freestyle.
And I'll pay a £5 or £6. That's worth £5 or £6.
That's why I don't mind when you go to like the Five Guys and like Burger King and stuff, and it's like, right, you're paying £5 for the drink, but that means I can have as many of those Coke Zeros or Cokes or Fanta grapefruit exotic fucking jungle Calamabanas.
That's the good thing about Nando's.
As I want,
Yeah. Okay,
and the next question. I think this is kind of aimed at me again.
Okay.
So Sean SHWN or Sean SEAN or Saun SAUN.
Still nice, man.
What's one thing you like about they, Paki brackets Imran, and one thing you dislike, and then vice versa. Okay, yeah. So one thing I like and dislike about you, and one thing you like and dislike about me.
Nice. We do the thing we like first and the dislike first.
We'll do the thing. Do you have answers to this already?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll let you take the flow with it.
Okay. The thing I like about you is that you're always like looking out for people, making sure that you like they're having a good time. I remember that from when we were like younger as well. Like you always want the best for people. You always want people to do well. You're really supportive of like your friends' music. You're really supportive of like people's lives. So like you're always on the ball there. Like, especially like in our friendship, like you've always been like the most present person of like checking up on me, my RA, asking about my family, asking about my personal life. Like you're good in terms of that. You know what I mean? And that's one thing that I like about you. That's just the first thing that came to my head when I think of you. Like that's what came up. So it's good.
Yeah,
Physical.
Good. Yeah, big love. Big love. Like I feel like it's similar for me, but like for me, it's like more how you act when people aren't watching you. Like, and something I mentioned a few weeks ago as well is like when we were younger, I would see you cleaning up at house parties that weren't your houses at all. Like it was like stuff that was like, it was stuff like that when I saw you. And like we were obviously friends then as well, like, but that's when I was like, Imran's the one to be like, Imran's the one you should like actively be hanging out with. Like he's not like, he's like, obviously you hang out in groups of friends and stuff, and like there's people from that friend group that like I still would consider friends, but like like we're not as close anymore, or like I don't meet up with them as often as I probably should, or anything like that, or I don't check in with them as often as I probably should, like, but like it's moments like that where like I looked at you and was like, yeah, like that's the type of character I should be surrounding myself by, and like especially like something from like a perspective of like I was never like I this isn't like an American like popularity contest thing. Like I was never like hugely a popular person in school. I was a wreck in the head before I was 15. 100% to put my hands up and say that. Even Imran will say Imran didn't like me before I was 15, so that was grand. But everyone, and it's one thing, everyone loves Imran, and it would be so easy for that to go to your head, and be like you could have an ego when you don't, like you have like literally no ego. You talk to people you talk to everyone on the same level.
Yeah,
that's something I love about it as well. Even like that and how you've like welcomed us into the house here, and even like before as well. Like when I stayed in your house, there was one time where I stayed in Imran's house when he was obviously still living in Ireland before COVID and stuff as well. Where like I had something happen to me in like my family life with my mum, and Imran was like, "Come to my house," and I stayed in his house that night. Like no, it's stuff like that where like you've got solid character.
Fist bump again.
Love. Okay, so
things we dislike.
Alright, so this has been
this one gets spicy.
Thanks for listening to Distance Dilemma. This podcast now ceases to exist.
No, I think you can take this both ways. The way I say it.
Yeah.
So for me,
but you know what?
This is not stuff that I necessarily dislike about him. This is just stuff that sometimes it can come across as like, oh, you know what I mean, like, oh. But so I would say for me, it's like Finn needs to do everything 100%.
Yeah.
And like this is a really good thing in terms of like stuff when we're doing like the podcast or like if we're doing stuff. But sometimes it can be annoying because it might just be like let's just go out for a walk, but he'll be like, oh, but are we going to go out on a walk here? Are we going to go there? Are we going to go on a drive here? Like,
I want the full agenda.
Yeah. So there's like two ways you look at it. Like on one side, from like a business point of view, but to do like a podcast, this is brilliant. Like I need a person like that because I need someone who's like good in technology, like really good in terms of it's mission techno. It's techno. It's mission versus. Yeah, so like there's two sides to like on one side I was like, and as a friend thing as well, like there's some stuff that I like about you because like you check up on me and stuff, but then there's like other times where it's like I need my space.
Yeah.
You can be sometimes it can come across as like you're overcrowded, but that's not you doing a bad thing. That's just you being
not
like the person, not reading the room properly, and that's the person you are. So like there's two, like that's not a dislike, there's like two sides to it, like the parts where I like
you can call me a wanker if you want.
Nah, and then there's parts where like I don't like it. So
like the thing like you wouldn't.
But like see, we've been friends so long now that we can say this.
Yeah. I don't know, like it's a weird thing to be like, oh yeah, what do you dislike about?
Yeah, like it's not really a dislike. It's more just a thing. Sometimes it's gonna be
room for critical improvement. I don't like. I would say kind of like maybe on like a similar level of like because I like thing. You're
kind of go with the flow kind of person.
Yeah, and it's like I can be quite go with the flow, but like sometimes it's like I suppose it's just those two different personality types clashing up being like.
Because I'm more like a go with flow kind of person, and sometimes maybe I need to not be a go with flow person and be like on point. And like Nicholas does it all the time, so I'm not dissing you, Nicholas.
Yeah, I feel like that we've kind of just like both reiterated each other's points as well.
It's not a cop out answer, but it is just something like that is generalised.
Yeah, but it's because it's hard to like actually be like, yeah, I dislike.
But like I don't sit down and think like, oh, what do I dislike about my mate? You know what I mean? Like
no, but this is just and if you do that, you're not mates.
You're not mates. You're analysing your friendship. That's wrong.
That's the first. That's a red. If you're analysing your friendship, that's a red flag.
That's a red flag. Yeah.
Which is like, I think especially though, like one thing to say, and a bit of a note on that. Like that's not as well. If you're in a situation like we are, we're living. Sorry, I just.
We've been talking for a while, guys. Give me a second.
So like, if you're in a situation like ours, where like we're in different countries and like. People have other long distance friendships. That's I think it's a bit different in that context. Now we've managed to keep it up from doing the podcast and like committing to this together. Whereas like I think if somebody is thinking about friendship in that way when they're not talking to their friends as much, because I say that, but I think that more applies to your close friends at home. I think like if you have a really close friend or family member that you just haven't spoken to in a while because of like a time zone thing. I think that may be a little bit different. Like it's where we're lucky as well that our thing is only like an hour in the difference.
Yeah.
I just set off a hand gesture on the oak, I think.
Yeah. Is it a pause because you weren't using the app too long? Sorry for our Spotify listeners.
Yeah.
Little glitch in the system
there.
Sorry,
we just had a bit of a glitch on the live there. This thing, we've got nowhere to hide. Now, we don't ever we paused it for the first time last week in the middle of recording because Simone walked in the room.
Yeah.
And that was the first time we've ever had to like pause mid recording,
I mean, we're human.
Because I can usually like mute my microphone and like cough or take a drink of water or something like that.
Well, we're live on set.
We're doing it raw,
right
now.
Dogging.
Literally raw audio files, bro. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all
our
questions that have been submitted in.
Okay.
Yeah. And we've been just recording just over an hour, so we're fairly on track.
On track here. Good to see.
Good to see. Right, shall we wrap it up here? Oh, that was a dap of all daps, brothers. That was a dap of all dap.
Sean, do the outro.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, we can't be doing like signals anymore. Like, because usually, like, when
normally we give each other the nod or like.
Because when on Zoom, the person who's talking, it just pans to their screen and it doesn't record you, the person what's going on the other screen.
Yeah.
So like usually, like, if you're talking or I'm talking, one of us can just be like, yeah, like let's just wrap it up here, like, but we have to like literally look at each other and go, are we done? Are we done? Was it good for you? Was it good for you? But yeah, thanks very much to anybody who tuned in to the live. We've had people kind of come and going through it, which is fair enough. It's an hour long thing of us just sitting in a room talking shite, so that's fair enough. But as well, thank you so much to anybody who sent in their questions as well before. And I don't think we actually had any during the podcast, but that's fair enough as well, to be fair, but yeah, guys, thank you so much. This has been The Distance Lemma. I'm Sean and I'm in Thun. That's Imran. He is also in Thun. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast, and we'll be back to our regular scheduled broadcasts of sitting in 2 different countries from next week.
Adds the dilemma.
Yeah, there you go. There's no dilemma this week, only vibes.
Thanks for the support, guys, as always, and looking forward to next week.
Bye.
And now we have to get